Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the MightyMMCast Menagerie, or Cast. In our second episode of the evening, we are continuing along with episode 2 of The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. And
double feature.
I know this may be spur of the moment, but is there a chance I could hassle you for a recap?
Oh yeah, baby. New campaign, same recapitations. So, picture it. Where there's a crazy carnival that drifts between the planes and is constantly traveling. It's very magical. It is called the Witchlight Carnival. Run by two dudes, Mr. Witch, Mr. Light. They're very mysterious. So, we open on opening day. They're back in Feywild after being gone for 8 years. Couple days ago, our fairy friend Persimmon was written a letter by this warlock guy, Menagerie. That's his name, right?
Yes.
And he was like, "Hey, I need some help with this stuff. You're really tiny, but you seem like you could help me." So. Persimmon's like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Goes and meets with the warlock. He's like, "I got this friend, Sibylna, and she's in trouble, maybe? Not really sure why, but we need to help her. And she's in the Feywild. So guess where Feywild Crossing is? At the Witchlight Carnival." So Persimmon's like, "Yeah, I'll deal with that." And so he goes to the carnival. He has a weird dream where he remembers his traumatic backstory in which he was imprisoned by a terrible caster, but a strange woman appeared out of some mist and helped him escape. So that'll probably come back. So he heads to the carnival. Meanwhile, the three of us weirdos already work at the carnival. You've got Cody, a ranger with a bunch of bugs around him. And he also throws knives. He throws knives.
He's darts, but yeah.
He throws darts. Be married to me, Solstice, Goliath, who used to be a unicorn. And I run Solstice runs security for this place. And then we've got McCade, who's the bunny person who reads the cards and talks to dead people. Haven't seen much of this creepiness yet, but we will. So, we're chatting, and weirdly, Solstice had received a couple of extra tickets. He got one for himself, for Cade, and for Cody. I just said it. And so it was from the initials E.T. So Solstice shows that to them. They seem like, "Oh, well, we didn't really need those. We work at the carnival, so we've got them on us, but who knows."
Cursed.
Persimmon arrives at the carnival and gets a ticket also from this mysterious E.T. person being whatever. He gets into the carnival. So then at one point, we see this creepy pig mask figure, chin, jaw, twitches. We're like, that's a real thing. And so, but it runs away, and then that's when we meet. Why? Persimmon! Okay, so then now the four of us were chatting. We're like, what's going on? What should we do? We have the day off. Let's hang out. So we decide to show Persimmon some of the sights. We're walking along. We see the Hall of Illusions. It's haunted. And someone goes in without a ticket. And Solstice cannot be letting that happen. So he kind of chases after that guy. Then everybody goes in. We look in the mirrors. They show us young. They show us old. And then there's that pig mask person. So the pig mask person talks to the halfling that had snuck into the Hall of Illusions. Not really snuck in, but accidentally went in without getting a punch. And talks to that guy. Then walks away as if the mirrors have depth and walks away into the mirrors. And so we're like, that's weird. Then we find a Kanku lurking around upstairs who was talking about that wasting her time. Not really sure what that's all supposed to mean. Cade's like, "Excuse me, can we talk?" And so they kind of chat a little. We pursue her first because she tries to get away from us, but we pursue her she finally is like, okay, fine, come with me into the snail races. So we go in there, and she reveals that, yes, in fact, she is looking for the Fey Crossing, the fabled one that is within this carnival. Recapitated.
And Persimmon is also looking for it.
And Persimmon is also looking for it.
I sure am.
Okay. Persimmon may or may not also be looking for it.
I sure am.
Oh, okay.
And right as we left off last time, you heard the Kenku Kettlestein say in the owner of the carnival's voices
Oh, duh.
about being shut down and that they had agreed to a pact in order to stay in business.
It's some weird coven.
As soon as this comes out of Kettlestein's mouth and she looks at all of you expectantly, the crowd erupts into a deafening roar as little shooter
Got it.
That's also good.
crosses the finish line first, ending the first round of snail racing
By an eye stalk.
by an eye stalk, as all of the pixies rise off the saddles, each of them doing a bow to the crowd, as both of the sides rooting for Queen's Majesty and Breakneck look dejected,
Losers.
and the goblins, continuing to announce, turn to the crowd and say, "And now, everybody's favorite time of the races, it is time for you to take the saddle." And the crowd erupts into cheers, as some people look nervous and others look excited, and the second goblin announcer says, "And it appears we have a special set of guests tonight." And they
like this.
turn the spotlight in the evening air to the four of you, as the Kenku has already turned back into the commoner woman sitting next to you, leaning back. She leans over to McCade and whispers, "Message me, and we'll see what we can unravel."
Sensual.
Don't be shy! Come on down! This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Not only will you be racing snails, but you'll be racing against the carnival's very own! As there's a space in the crowd that breaks for all of you to make your way down from these stands to the racing arena itself.
I will lean over to the Kenku and be like, under my breath, "I'll fight you."
I will follow you.
Don't leave the carnival.
I message Cody. It's fine. She's on our side.
She smiles and says, "I'd sooner burn it to the ground."
That's definitely not allowed.
And do all of you make your way down?
Yeah.
I do, for sure.
It looks like we have 4 more spaces available. And you see an excited elf child jumping up in the air, and its parent helps push forward, go in. Another one of the goblins comes out of the crowd to do the same, looking a little sheepish and shy. A dwarf looking overconfident in the ability struts forward, and finally another heron gone.
I'm hopping from row to row instead of walking.
You both land at nearly the same time. Her white fur and pink nose nearly shadowed opposite of your own black fur, as you both kind of clock each other for a moment.
It's a lady.
Who's that
Hello.
lady?
My name is Cade.
I'm gonna beat you.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Shakes out a hand, clasps, and as she does, a spark travels up your arm, seeing one of your own, what you've lost, settles into the pit of your stomach as she wishes you luck and moves towards the snails. What have you lost, Cade?
As I realize, I kind of just look down and I remember that I lost my teddy bear, Teddy Perry.
I see the interaction between the two of you, and I go, young love.
It's beautiful. And their coats are so lovely together.
Remember the first time we met, my beloved?
Of course, I think of it every day.
I'd
See,
shake it off.
it's soft fur in your mind's eye, the two of you recognizing the young love. All of you are interrupted by the barkers once more. Pick your snails!
Is the little gunner available?
Nobody's taken any of them.
So I will trip Solstice as I run towards the little gunner.
I would have let you have. I would have let you have him. I'll take little shooter.
Excellent. What snails are the rest of you taking? There's Shelly Moo, Nimblefoot, High Road, Quickleaf, Flower Flash, Wizzy, Breakneck, or Queen's Majesty.
Oh.
I want to take Breakneck, but what snail's available near the other herringon?
Depends on what these two
I
take.
want Shelly Moo.
She just took the little shooter.
Well, I'll take. Oh shit! I'll take the Queen's Majesty.
Okay. The already set rivalry on the field again. The other Herringon takes a seat on Flower Flash, leaving you Quickleaf on one side and Wizzy on the other.
Wizzy.
I turn to you. Don't take Wizzy. He's a drunk.
He's a snail. Okay.
They do not. These are beasts of burden.
I'm gonna look at both of the snails and try to figure out which one, and I'm gonna land on Quickleaf.
All right.
Good choice.
And that leaves Wizzy. As you all take your seats, the goblins continue. It's shaping up to be quite a race tonight, folks. We hope you enjoy a chance to breathe in the history.
Is she too big for a snail?
Yeah.
Is that really that big?
He looks a little bit out of place on the snail, given that where all of you have your feet well halfway up, Solstice, your feet are pretty close to touching the ground on either side of this snail, but it seems to be completely capable of holding a large creature.
It's like when an adult goes to the park in those springy rides.
Yes.
And they're just like,
Those are so fun.
yes, they are.
And with that, the fireworks set off, and all of your snails take flight. I need each of you to roll an animal handling check.
Oh no.
God.
I thought I was crazy for taking that. Are you?
Oh, we got a little too much hubris there.
I'm skilled at this.
14.
No one takes animal handling.
That's true.
Important D20.
Good thing this is just a race.
At least you did worse than me.
Trying to look good in front of the lady too.
You got a 2.
Disgrace.
Oh
I look up. Wait, maybe it was Flower who's the drunk.
What did you roll?
7.
All right. And Percy?
14.
All right. Percy and...
Queen's Majesty.
Percy and
AKA little shooter.
Solstice break out of the gate as all of the other folks... Sorry. As all of the other folks get about 20 feet forward, they use, as all of you know, that first round to slick up the tracks so that in all of the subsequent rounds, while they actually have patrons of the carnival riding on, the tracks are smooth and fast. And you both shoot forward 20 feet with 2 of the other folk, the Herringon, one of them, keeping pace with both of you. Unfortunately, both of you and the dwarf spooked your snails in your excitement, and they stayed in place.
Oh no.
Go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
Are you serious?
Frick. I got a 3.
9.
12.
And that's with mud shovels, decent.
13.
No.
I should really
Excellent. As you are all arguing and trying to get through your snails, Cody getting a little flustered with Little Gunner having been such a huge fan, Cade is able to push his snail forward 20 feet as Percy pushes forward another 20, leaving Cody and the dwarf at the starting line as Solstice begins to catch up.
I turn to the dwarf. Your stench is upsetting the snails.
The announcer's calling out, "It seems that we have a close race for those that have begun it!" And if I can have another animal handling check.
Ooh.
17.
Nice.
21.
Nice.
21, fantastic. Cody, as you had, so what was yours?
18.
18, excellent.
Nice.
As you finally get Little Gunner to move forward, he truly lives up to his name, rocketing past two of the other contestants, as we have now Cade and Percy tied in the lead, with Solstice bringing up the next spot. Cody close in hand, Solstice neck and neck with the other Heron, our dwarf friend at the starting line. The elven child making decent pace as Cody shoots past him towards the victory. Animal handling.
Dun, dun, dun.
Boom. Again.
15.
Cody overtakes the other Heron. Now, what was yours? 14. Now tied with Cade as Percy slides just behind them. It seems that perhaps a Goliath was not the best choice of a jockey for the giant snail, as it has slowed down, though it seems to be gathering its strength.
Solstice just puts her feet on the ground and starts...
Walk along.
Come on,
We
little buddy.
seem to be seeing a very interesting strategy from our Goliath competitor. And an animal handling check, please.
Just be funny if you just grip the snail on your knees and start like...
Waddle.
5.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Same.
Nice.
15.
Excellent. Now we have Cody pulling ahead with Cade and Percy neck in neck as we were moving nearly ahead of the victory. Little Gunner showing its true colors as it nears the finish line and we reach our final round.
Now, if I get an at 20, maybe.
Can I?
I'm not going to do that, though.
How?
You can see my rolls.
Can I? Point of clarity. Wait, before you announce, Hank.
Oof.
Can I see Percy gaining on Cody and look down and somehow grant bardic inspiration by whispering to the spirits around me that fill me, "Go, Percy. You can do this."
Aw.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
need
and
this.
You can use it.
What am I doing?
Using my
Bardic
gift.
inspiration.
I'm using my
D6.
welcome gift to add a D4, and it's a 22.
Well, mine's a 25.
Wait, I gotta roll mine. 18.
As Percy catches up with Cody, I need a single D20 roll with nothing added from both of you.
Dun, dun, dun. Ooh.
14.
8.
You are neck and neck all the way through, the crowd holding their breaths as by an eye stalk. Moo. Shelly Moo crosses the finish line, their bodies pushing through at the same time.
Yes.
The crowd erupts as Shelly Moo has never won a race.
Yes.
Good for him.
It looks like we've now seen that escargot as Shelly Moo has come into the races at last. It seems our betting pool's going to be much more interesting the rest of the evening, isn't it, folks?
How long have you been waiting for that one?
So long.
Okay.
As you all climb down, you having finished in a tie for second with the other heron gone, and our Goliath finally having come in last, carrying the snail across the finish line. The dwarf actually finally got his snail to go, but Solstice generously carries the snail across the finish line,
Slipping the whole way.
It's my fault, yeah.
and the snail like moves its little face up and just slurps you across the side of the face as a kind of a lick. And they bring you all to the winner's circle, where they award for our first ever carnival worker to participate and our first ever carnival worker to lose.
It was a noble loss.
Tonight, we award our first place victor the Potion of Advantage!
Nice.
And as a consolation prize to our valiant Goliath carrying the Snail Queen's Majesty across the finish line, you are granted a wand of dancing lights. And they present it to you.
Thank you, sir.
You may cast dancing lights as a cantrip once.
Okay.
Love it.
As all of you look up into the stands, the Kenku is gone.
Of course she is.
Wait, is she messaging with him?
She had said, yeah, message me if you need me.
Oh, okay.
And the snail races have come to their conclusion.
Yay.
You can see people shuffling out and the carnival workers sweeping down the rows, getting ready for the next round of folks to come through.
What's next? I feel invigorated.
I don't know.
Were we doing something? What happened to the
We were talking-
Kenku
We
slash
were
woman?
interrogating that Kenku.
The Kenku exited. They're around the carnival somewhere, but we can speak with them as we please.
Well, I mean,
Do you know where this Fey crossing is?
no. It's I'm trying to find it.
Hold on,
There's no fate crossing in the Witchlight Carnival.
let's regroup for a moment. So, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light made a pact for something. Something happened.
Who are Mr. Witch
Yes,
and
they
Mr. Light?
mentioned a coven.
A coven, yes.
Although, could that Kenku be trusted?
Clearly not, if she's speaking ill of Mr. Witch and Mr. Light and faking their voices.
Who are they?
They own the carnival. Witchlight Carnival, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
Huh.
Although, weirdly, it was named that before they came into ownership of it.
I haven't nearly begun to question that as much as I should.
You should not question Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
Darling, do you know something?
No, I'm just saying we shouldn't be speaking ill of the very people who saved our lives.
We're not speaking ill. We're just trying to understand.
It's like your mind going crazy.
As you exit the snail racing, the Calliope chimes to, letting you know you have entered the second hour of the carnival.
What events are right next to us?
On one side is the Hall of Illusions, where you came from. In front of you is the Pixie Kingdom and the Bubble Pot Teapot. And on the other side is the Mystery Mine.
Well, we can go back into the hall and investigate further if you guys think there could be something more in there. Or we can continue enjoying our night off.
I don't. Maybe we ponder as we continue to show Persimmon about the carnival. Do you mind if I call you Persimmons? Persimmons?
Yeah, Persimmon. I feel like if I had friends, they might call me Percy, but I don't know.
Percy it is.
Yeah, right.
Where to next?
Cody's already walking off towards Mystery Mine.
The extravaganza is still a couple hours away.
Yes.
Yeah, follow him to the mine.
I don't know why I ask, and try to get the group vote if.
Cade, you're falling behind.
All right. With that, as you move through the crowd itself, outside of the entry to the mine, Cody, with your passive perception, you see what appears to be a large toad-like figure with large circular glass eyes as it reaches into the bag of a patron, and as somebody passes, it's gone.
The toad is gone?
Reaching into the bag of what?
Of a patron.
Oh, of a patron.
I don't see it anywhere.
Freaky.
As if it was never there.
I will approach that patron.
Sure.
Excuse me. It seems either an imaginary creature or hallucination just reached into your bag. Are you missing anything?
The woman has several of her children around her, and she has a giant lion and heart painted across her face from one of the booths. Missing something.
From your bag.
She
Can you
goes
check?
to look inside of it. Not that I can tell.
I must be hallucinating. Apologies, man.
Of course.
Your facial makeup is very beautiful, but it was meant for children. As I walk away.
She looks after, a little confused, and turns to the children,
He doesn't have any tact. It's okay.
who all appear to thoroughly enjoy her face makeup.
I said it was beautiful.
All right. That will not affect the mood of the carnival as you began it with a compliment.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
They balance each other out as it began to raise with the compliment and lower with the truth.
Well, technically, I didn't say anything inappropriate. I just said it was meant for children.
Doesn't really matter how you intended it, it matters how she took it. And
She's too
with that, the mood of the carnival lowers further.
Oh boy, look what you
As
did.
you
Now covered in shadows. We're all gonna die.
As you approach the ride of Mystery Mine, you can see, propelled by magic, mine carts laden with fairgoers trundle into an opening carved like a dragon's mouth. The carts reappear moments later on the far side of the attraction, with the passengers expressing a mixture of bewilderment, fear, and excitement.
I don't know if I want to go on that.
Near the
Go with Cade.
I think you want to go on it. It has to be fun. It looks like fun.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Near the entrance, a male dwarf dressed like a wizard shouts, "Unlock the secrets of your mind in the Mystery Mine!" He has bushy eyebrows, wears a pointy hat, and holds a large clockwork contraption shaped like a giant eye.
Ooh, I don't look at that.
I chose the mystery mine, my love, because I have not tasted you yet today.
Excellent. We can play our game where we try to see how far we get before the end of the ride.
As you approach, Zafixo says to Cade, in Sylvan, "How is your training coming along?"
In Sylvan, I respond, "Great, think I."
Looks at Cody. "Good start."
I mean, at least he got all the words out.
True. Ticket? Turning to Percy.
Oh, we also have tickets today.
Oh, you're touching them now.
Oh, no.
I'm so glad someone's keeping track.
What a fun oddity we have found ourselves with.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know anybody by E.T., do you?
Click. Mr. Phonum, I believe, right?
What?
Mr. Phone Home.
Yes.
Oh, God, you got me there.
Not that
never
I
gonna happen.
had to think of. I've never really learned Ernest's last name, I suppose, but I
It's not-
don't.
You know, we gave him a button and he was supposed to tell us and he never did.
Huh.
I'm just now realizing that.
Tricky baboon.
Yes. As I look down at my waistcoat that's missing 2 buttons.
Well, you did give him the first one for free.
Does mending create buttons?
No. You can fix a broken button.
As you guys are going back about Ernest, I pull Percy to the side and please, sit next to me. We're going to sit very far away.
No, we're going to get our own cart. We're not rude.
Each of the mine carts holds 8 medium creatures.
Oh.
We're going to get our own cart. We're going to need that space.
Oh my god. Okay.
He is very big.
Does this dwarf know?
I mean, we seem to know each other, so I'm sure he knows why we
He's
come to
joined
the mystery.
It's a mystery, mind you.
Sorry. All right.
No.
So as you each get into your mine carts, they begin to pass through the mouth of a giant dragon, its teeth closing behind each of them as you suddenly spiral down into the depths and the darkness of it. Images of gold mines and scenes of fantastical adventures of a Duragar uprising being slewn by a silver dragon, of strange creatures with tentacles coming off of their face, creeping up against a hero in the dark, lit torches every few paces, prismatic skies, and suddenly darkness. Can I please have a DC? I'm not going to tell you that part. Can I please have a wisdom saving throw from each of the players?
I'm
Do we
sorry.
get advantage because we're not paying attention?
I feel like I'm gonna use my boon now on this one.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did you say wisdom? We're going on a carnival ride by choice.
Yes.
And you said wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
You got a good one.
How
Right?
do I know? Oh, this is the saving throws. These
Yeah.
are different.
So just click on the number.
12. What do you mean click on the number?
So you can roll a saving throw.
25?
On the number.
Oh, okay. I already know things.
You got a nat 20.
Nat 20?
No, I'm sorry, a dirty 20.
7? Okay.
I'm terrified.
17.
Okay.
12.
12. Excellent. With that, the two of you are able to just continue your Snogfest. You get the sense of shapes kind of hovering around the minecart as if they're trying to get your attention. One almost solstice appears to be an image of Cody. But just as you begin to recognize the image, you're pulled back into the moment in the dark, cool space of what to you is a tunnel of love. Hurtling
A literal
at
tunnel
speed
of love.
through corkscrews and
The
upside
speed
down.
is what makes it challenging.
And more fun with all that inertia.
On the mine track ahead, as both of you sit, taking in the dioramas around you, some that are put into motion by magic and others that are gone by so fast they need not be, you begin to see spectral images in the dark, faint at first, and then becoming more and more apparent as at first they whip past the cart, and then slowly it seems as if they're able to keep pace as you watch a mage forms within the darkness, wispy, white, and lit, as now sitting in front of you in the cart is your old master, looking disappointed.
No! And I'm gonna catapult something at it. If it's something that's on the ground, I don't know, is there like a rock or something on the ground?
You are in a mine, so I'll say that's fair.
Okay, I'm gonna catapult something at it.
Roll to hit.
It's a dex saving throw.
That will be automatically failed.
Okay. Yeah.
As you catapult this rock, you come out the other end of the mine. The rock goes flying into the air, and you see it hit a bubble as one of the patrons was inside. And the patron screams at first, and then bursts out laughing as a shower of glitter rains down and they are floated safely to the ground. The internal magic of the bubble doing its work. And you hear across the fence, "That wasn't nearly long enough!" As you are now safely back in the light.
Did you see that guy?
Did I see anything?
Yeah.
I stand up wearing Solstice's shirt going, "What's wrong?"
Who was that? Who was that?
My master, my old, he can't be here.
He's not
My
here.
old master.
The dwarf, seeing you upset, comes over.
There was something there. There was.
Tuttle shows you your greatest fear. It appears you may have faced yours.
I don't want to do this again. Can we get off, please?
Oh, yes, we're quite done.
Fear not, it's only an illusion. He opens up the door of the mine.
Oh, I'm running out.
Maybe that's a disclaimer we need to have for this ride.
I've never seen anything strange on this ride.
I'm too busy in the background. Just muttering to himself like,
As you run out of the mystery mine and ahead of your compatriots into the crowd, you run headlong into a figure who stands stock still, looking down at you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She seems to be giving off almost wisps of darkness, wearing a crescent moon mask, deep blue skin, and flowing black hair. She smiles as she looks down at you and says, "Don't worry, you have a ticket."
Oh, yeah, it's right here.
She nods and turns, disappearing into the crowd as a single person passes, the visage gone entirely. The rest of you, having succeeded on that save, were able to laugh at these illusions or ignore them entirely. You are now granted... I just saw this and then I just lost it as soon as I saw it.
Cody, giving you your shirt back.
You gain advantage on charisma-based ability checks made at the carnival.
It's the glow.
So the three of you that succeeded now have that available.
Excellent.
All right.
Where did Persimmon run off to as I fix my belt?
Why are there so many scary people here?
It's the Witchlight Carnival.
It attracts weirdos.
Who's the... I don't even know. Okay.
I know it's supposed to be fun, and yet there's been much terror already.
Can we, find somewhere to, sit down for a little bit, maybe, and just kind of hang out? And,
We should eat.
I could eat.
oh, it's not going to eat me, is it?
No, it's the feasting orchard.
Okay, let's do that.
You can do that.
At least I don't think it's ever been eaten.
What?
Carnival does seem to have some weird rules.
The feasting orchard, you all know, is on the other side of the carnival over here. Making your way through the crowds, seeing all of the happy parents and children and adults walking around with carnival foods and different face painting, and most of them wearing butterfly or dragonfly wings to signify that they've received their tickets. All of them faintly glowing, either releasing glitter or flapping of their own accord every few steps. You pass once again the Calliope, the big top, where you can hear the sounds of preparations on the inside, the ticket booth that has now been closed as the carnival is well underway, Lost Property, where a displacer beast sits looking after some children, dragonfly rides, and finally the feasting orchard.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Could I be keeping an eye out for that lady? Mostly because I'm terrified of her and I'm gonna run in the opposite direction if I see her again.
The moon lady?
Yeah.
Let me show you what she looked like, because now you've seen all of the things, which I guess I probably shouldn't tell you that you've seen all of the things, but that's okay. These are the 3 entities that you saw. I know I've shown you this image before, but the moon face one kind of floating above the ground with those wisps of darkness is the one that you just ran into.
And we've seen this one too?
You saw a
Oh, that's
strange
the frog.
toad-like being, yes.
Okay. Don't like that.
Making your way to the other side of a carousel where painted unicorns gallop as children ride them, and the centaur takes the tickets, you reach the feasting orchard. Music and mirth radiate from this little park. The heady scents of flowers, meads, and berry pie waft through the air. Stilt walkers pluck fruit from trees, musicians drum, pipe, and strum, and everywhere there is singing, dancing, and an inordinate amount of custard.
Custard.
What's your favorite food?
I mean,
Please don't say something sad.
I mean, I've been living on my own for a while, so I usually just kind of eat, like, stew and stuff.
Custard it is!
That's nicely.
I mean, I'm not... It's good stew?
I go to the custard place and I get one for all of us.
Get little fruit tarts. They have custard in
And
them.
I pay with my gold piece there.
Oh. They push the gold piece back to you as the gnome behind the counter says, "Oh, solstice, for you anything."
Oh, you honor me. Bow.
I will from array. Do you have any stew?
I would perhaps check the staff tents for stew.
We can get you stew later.
I mean, it
I
doesn't
will.
have
I will turn to Snaggletooth. Snaggletooth, do you think you could have somebody bring some stew?
It
to
doesn't
the
have
orchard?
to be stew.
For our friend. Is that a yes?
And then in the middle of its next yowl, it is gone. But remember to save some room.
In our
For what?
pockets?
The fairy cake eating contest starts soon.
Oh.
Oh.
The what eating contest?
Fairy cake.
They're not cakes made out of fairies,
Is there?
right?
Oh, no.
Why did you call them that then?
They're small glazed cupcakes.
And they're not made out of fairies?
Just because I'm small,
No,
it's
they're
very...
Well, they're rumored to be a delicacy of the fair folk. Filled with custard.
I do like custard.
And, of course, there's a
I'm
prize.
eating it. Oh, I'm down.
I'd like to think instead of eating it like normal, Kate just holds it for a second and lets everybody start eating, and then once they get to a portion of it, Kate just goes into it.
I'm trying to eat it daintily, but I'm inhaling it.
Oh, hungry.
Put some on your nose. They lick it off.
Do they ever stop?
No,
Is it okay?
from inside the cup.
No.
From above the benches that you sit at enjoying your little treats comes the strumming of a lute as a gnomish bard sits casually in the crook of the tree playing a tune. You all seem to be enjoying yourselves.
Why wouldn't we be? We're in the best place on, well, several planets.
Well, with that, I would heartily agree, but it doesn't mean it's not nice to see.
We got the night off. It's been terrifying for some of us.
Yes, our friend was terrified by the mystery mine, so we came here to relax. So if you're going to say anything mysterious, creepy, or upsetting, I would appreciate it if you did not.
She laughs and leans back, continuing to strum. Everything she plays seems to almost accompany the sound of the calliope, even though it is fainter here. It's as if she's playing along with it.
Yeah.
I would never want to intentionally bring Percy any trouble. It is to play.
I think knowing his name without him telling you would be upsetting.
Would it?
I'm just staring at her like
Well, I am going to spin around, cover my face in custard, and then turn back and be like, "Don't worry, Percy. It's all part of the magic." Can I make a performance check to see if I cheer you up?
I'm not like, I'm just like, what? I'm more in like shock that like, why does she know my name? It's not like I'm like upset. I'm just like, what? Why?
I'll be like, "Don't worry about it. Most of the people here do that. It's really not scary."
I will say that none of you recognize her.
I pull my face out of the cup. How did you know his name? As I'm like dripping in custard, I'm assuming.
I know all your names, McCabe.
I'll remove a handkerchief and start wiping your fur. I'll just hand it to you.
I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. Have you worked here long?
Oh, I'm a guest, Solstice.
Oh,
And she takes a ticket from inside her pocket.
excellent. I like a rule follower.
I'm sorry, Persimmon. I asked her specifically not to be upsetting.
What?
I promise you, Cody, I really am not trying.
You already said you knew all our names, so now you're just showing off by saying them.
I've heard that people like hearing their own names, so...
Well, what's
Yes,
your
it's
name?
very personalizing.
What's your name?
I do actually enjoy hearing my name.
Eliwick.
Ellie, like,
But my friends call me Tumblestrom.
Tumblestrom?
Tumblestrom. And she stands up and does a acrobatic tumble off the tree into a roll and stands up without dropping or scratching the lute. Tumblestrom.
Impressive.
Catchphrase? Okay, alright.
So-
Why do you know our names?
Yeah, why do you know our names, Aliwick?
Well, you haven't put it together?
Oh wait, are you that Kanku?
Huh, no! E.T. What? No!
No, E.T. is made out of rock.
Oh,
What? Why?
I assure
smart
you,
guy.
although
I'm the
I
smart one.
am also aware of Kettlesteam's involvement here, I am not a Kenku. But I am a fan of all of yours, and I hoped that that little gift might help you along.
Help us along where? We already had access to the carnival.
Perhaps help you to find what you're looking for.
In complete seriousness, Cody will kind of, this is a gnome,
Yeah.
will kind of get close to the gnome and like, "You're working for her, aren't you?"
For who?
He means the Kenku.
I'm just saying.
Your hag. No. I assure I'm not working for anybody. I like to remain independent.
I don't know
You
if I
know
can trust
about
you.
our hag.
I keep an eye on a lot of things, and what happened with you is part of why I thought that you would make a good fit for this. Aside from being at the right place at the right time.
Beloved, what are the rules against violence in the carnival?
It's prohibited.
You are lucky that she is here. He is here.
If I may, hold on, everybody.
She gets a big grin.
What do you need our assistance with? You thought we'd make great selections for what?
Well, your friend here has a task. And I think you all discussed a similar task with Kettlesteam. And I would just like to see it carried out.
But how? Okay. How did you know?
She's a hag minion. That's how she knows.
I like his...
Insight?
Sure, yeah, go ahead. I like his staying power.
I am still figuring out what happened with Kettlestein.
Just don't.
Despite himself, you would.
Oh.
And then he turns away. He's like, don't respond to that.
I won't. Kettlestein, I believe, should be on a gondola swan about now. But she won't leave.
But they're communicating with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
Communicating is an interesting word. I would say eavesdropping.
Spying. Or spies.
We weren't
I got a
supposed
16, but I'm having a hard time trying to decide what I am trying to insight.
I mean, everything she said has been pleasant. She's not trying to be threatening, and it seems to be completely honest. She definitely doesn't seem to be a hag minion.
Okay.
So, okay, hold on. So, you knew that I was going to come here. And,
Hoped.
well, okay, that's a big hope. And then you had tickets for them too. Like, you knew... Okay, why are you looking for this crossing thing?
We already told you there's no fake crossing in the Witchlight Carnival.
Just shut up!
There is an imbalance that has occurred. Partially to do with your Sibilna. That I think needs to be corrected.
So she is here.
She is not here. But a way to her is.
Okay.
And you want us to go deal with this imbalance?
And
Why aren't you
walk
dealing
right-
with it?
And walk right into a hag's trap.
I can't promise there won't be danger, and I can't promise there won't be traps. But I do have faith that you'll all find a way. I don't pick people at random.
Can you tell us where this crossing is?
If I knew. The crossing is known to only few. Those that have used it and those it has chosen. And while I can enter, I do not know this crossing.
If you can enter, can't you take us to it?
I can enter the Feywild myself, but this... how to put it? I'm unable to... Something's been disconnected.
Well, maybe we could go to the Fey Civilized instead then.
Don't.
Ask
Don't what?
some kind of magistrate or village.
I don't think that exists.
It takes her a moment.
The what?
The Fey Magistrate.
I think you're seeking a different plane entirely.
No, my beloved has told me that I should be quiet, so I feel like I've said something out of turn.
He has skills in other areas.
7.
I hope so.
I fear that I
You
am...
should have heard Solstice on the mining train.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was too busy screaming.
So was he. It's impressive that someone so small can yell louder than my beloved.
Cade is just rubbing his ears in frustration.
I fear that I may be muddying the waters more than clearing them.
I do apologize. Is there any other wisdom you can give to us other than imbalance and
Why are we
crossing
trusting a random gnome in
somewhere?
a tree?
Just that it does exist, and there are folk within the carnival that know more than they may be letting on, as I feel you may have already heard.
Well, being a newbie at the carnival, I haven't gained many of their trust yet. So this might be an issue.
Kettlestein wasn't my first choice, but she hasn't done a bad job.
Okay. I'm going to immediately message Kettlestein. Get to the food court now.
So, message only has a range of 150 feet.
If she's around anywhere.
Go ahead and roll a d20.
Okay. 11.
There is no response.
She's out of range somewhere.
Surprising.
Well, you just told us where she was.
Gondola swans. Last I saw.
So,
But we would really like to spend at least 10 minutes without upsetting our friend before we continue anywhere else.
how
I mean, they're in a cycle. It's going to take her some time to get all the way around.
how do you know I need, like, I don't understand.
Maybe she's an agent of your wizard. She didn't say that. She said she wasn't a hag minion. Maybe she's a wizard minion.
I feel like he would have tried to capture me already.
He would have. He's an impatient man, that one.
Yeah.
Not a fan. If it's
Okay.
any consolation.
Fair enough. So, but then why do you know me?
Use your divine sense on her. Just remind me you have this.
Divine sense.
If things had gone differently in your youth, when you were traveling, you may have ended up in different care. And for my lateness, I apologize.
I don't remember traveling.
Not to be frustratingly cryptic, but you will.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to use your...
Sure. Celestial fiend or undead. Okay.
Yeah,
None
because she
of the
haven't picked
above?
yet, so she doesn't get Fey. Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so we have to find this crossing on our own.
Yes.
Can you give us any hints or help or anything that might aid us? Like, are there certain circumstances that have to be met? Like, are there certain places where it's known, or is it just we're screwed until it happens?
You don't know where the Fey crossing is, but do you know who might? I frankly, there are so many people that work here. I'm still memorizing names at this point.
Kettlestein was on the right track.
She's on a boat, not the train.
I really do like this.
We were on the train.
Yeah, like got off the tree. Okay,
And
so
it was
find
the wrong
Kettlestein.
track.
Follow your way up. Look to the top.
The big top.
Okay.
Let's go to the gondola things.
Can we stop for one more cup of custard on the way?
Oh,
No, we're staying for the fairy eating contest.
Oh, yeah, we can't miss that.
Very cake eating.
Fairy cake eating contest.
I promise you don't taste very good.
Cakes that are not made out of fairies, we've determined.
Did we do? No, I promised not to hit on you, so I'm sure that's true.
Do you know of any danger that is ahead for us?
It's because you think I'm not afraid.
There are agents of the hag in the carnival. Or of a hag, anyway.
What? A hag.
And I would keep an eye out, but that was part of why I gave you all tickets. They shouldn't bother you as long as you have them.
Oh, yeah. What do they look like?
If we...
There is a shadow of the moon wearing a crescent mask. A toad-like fellow, usually
He's working for the hag?
with glassy eyes,
A hag.
and a ghoul wearing the mask of a pig and a little girl's body.
Pig! Pig!
I tagged that one.
Ghouls.
I tagged that one with a dart, but then she looked at a mirror and she's trapped now, so she can't get out.
She's not trapped.
You're not trapped in a mirror if you look in a mirror.
Earlier, you guys said that was true. Why are you
It's
saying?
not.
I never said that was true. I thank you. That is very helpful to know. I was also referring to dangers if we make this crossing.
I have been unable to see into Prismere, the realm beyond.
That's what it's called.
Yes.
Prismere.
I thought it was called the Feywild.
Prismere is a domain that was once run by Sibilna within the Feywild.
It's the second time you've said that name. Why is that important?
She's
Your
important. No.
Your mom.
I don't know who my mom is.
Your mom.
She's important. She's why I'm here. I have to save her. I have to help her. So something's wrong with
So
her.
something's wrong with her, causing this imbalance, and we need to correct that. That sounds noble.
I don't.
And the hag's minion are in the carnival, so if we go to Prismere, they won't be there.
No, they won't. We don't know that they're after us.
Well, we have to find the Fey crossing.
Okay, yes, that is... We seem to be in agreement on that.
Finally!
Are we going to eat the fairy cakes first?
Do you think we have time to eat the fairy cakes?
The Feywild works in mysterious ways. And I think as long as you find something before the carnival leaves.
Okay.
I mean, it would be a shame to not let Persimmon enjoy the festivities.
You know, part of it is that response it takes to emotion.
So maybe we have to have such a good time that we end up in this happy, magical place. Prismon.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. Solstice observe. I think you're right. That was great wisdom.
I can't tell a lie, so I'm hardly ever wrong.
That's sweet that you think that.
I'm gonna start coughing.
Swallow your
Sweeter
custard,
than
Rob.
this custard.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Ate too much.
Well,
I'll keep an eye out. And if Kettle Steam finds her way there first, then I'll at least know where to lead you.
do you?
And if it turns out that you are in fact a minion of the hag yourself, I will personally end your life.
And as she laughs, this puff of smoke erupts, and there is no more gnome, though the laughter
You know,
remains.
people keep disappearing around us as if it's not commonplace.
Yes, they all want to make a dramatic exit. I get it. I would do it.
You
I
drove
used
them.
to, after all.
You drove them off before we could establish a way of communicating or a signal or something.
I was clearly informing them of my intention of killing them if they turn out to be the minion of the hag who cursed us.
Which is a totally fair thing to say amongst warriors.
Out of character. Would I have been privy to,
I don't know if
Your
we
story?
would've brought it up because, like,
or would that be the first time that?
but both of
I'm
it. So
hearing
I can't lie or hide the truth.
I mean, if you'd
and-
asked, I
Yeah.
think we would have told you. For
Okay,
sure.
I think you probably would have said something before, and I'd have been like, "What? What happened?"
I mean, and Solstice isn't like shy about saying he's a unicorn.
By my horn. I make weird horn comments all the time. I haven't made any tonight, but
That's why I'm so
allegedly.
horny.
Allegedly.
Okay, so I do know. So that wouldn't elicit that big of a reaction.
I mean, we've known each other for 2 years, and you don't fit in with the rest of the carnival, so, I mean, you spend a lot of time with us. Not to mention other people at the carnival probably talk about it. It's an interesting story.
Although, actually, maybe we would have kept it under wraps because
I
the
can't
hag
keep
is after
things under
us.
wraps,
So
though.
yeah, apparently not.
I mean, you can still choose not to speak.
Yeah,
instead
that's.
of...
But if somebody asks, like, how did you meet Solstice?
In a wood.
In the
I
woods.
think I would think.
or deflection. But anyway, this is not session 0. Okay. All right.
But anyway, you were gonna
As
say
you
something.
say,
Oh, yeah.
we didn't get to establish a way of talking with her.
Yes.
There drops from the tree a pear into your outstretched palm with a note wrapped around the stem that says, "I'll be there when you need me."
Now that's a cool exit.
Is
I'll
that
be
even
there.
a pear tree?
It is, unfortunately, yes, a pear tree. That would have been cool.
Did the partridge drop it to me?
Not a bird inside.
You're 2 months early, bud. Okay.
And as you all were having that discussion and fussing over Tumblestrom, Percy wandered off.
Oh crap.
When did you wander off?
I said
You were
I'm walking
threatening
off.
her, and then y'all got into an argument, and then Hank looked across the table and went,
Percy!
Okay, well I will look for him.
I'm wandering towards the swan, where this gondola thing is.
Okay.
I have no idea where it's at, so...
it is right next to the feasting orchard.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
But Persimmons has no sense of direction.
If I can see something, I can get there. It's if you tell me, like, go east, I'm like, alright, cool, where's that?
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
5.
You
This
end up
first.
in front of the carousel,
Where's the
and you
carousel?
can see the water, but you cannot see a way to get around it. And you cannot tell whether this is the swans or this is the swans, because the waters go through both and they both have docks.
Which... I don't...
I'm just.
I'm gonna spin in a circle, and whichever way I wind up facing is the way I'm gonna go.
Can I be jumping as high as I can, shouting Percy at the peak of my jump?
like throwing up in the air.
Roll,
Percy!
roll a d4.
Me?
Percy!
R.
2.
Okay. You find yourself standing. Huge lily pads rest on the surface of a pool glistening with phosphorescent algae. Giant dragonflies use the lily pads as landing platforms, buzzing loudly overhead with wings as brilliant as stained glass windows, and are lighting briefly to drop off and pick up excited passengers. Near the entrance, a small, smiling tree turns to you and beckons you over. A red squirrel clings to its leafy canopy, peering at you.
Is it the same squirrels before?
Same squirrel and same tree.
I'm gonna go up to him.
Oh, well, hey, you're for the dragonflies?
I mean,
Who's talking?
I-
The tree?
yeah. They're gonna take me up, right? I can see stuff from there, right?
Yeah, that they can.
Yeah, yeah. That's good, because then I can see where I need to go. Yeah.
Well, all right. Ticket?
I have my ticket.
The squirrel shudders down on that, takes the punch, punches it. Good ride. And then it climbs back up into the tree's branch.
The squirrel
looks
says
down
that?
at you.
Yes.
As you get on it, one of the giant dragonflies lands with 8 others in a formation onto the lily pads, allowing you to climb aboard. They soar above the carnival about 40 feet in the air, so you can get a good view of the entirety of the venue itself. And as you begin to float into the air, we'll turn back to the rest of you.
Well, he must have headed toward the swan boats. That's where we should head, right? It's just right next door. It would be impossible to miss.
Well, let me look. Let me look. And then I try to jump and see anything.
What I'm worried about for you, little buddy, is I think we have to cross a river to get there.
There's a bridge, if that helps at all. You had to cross the river to get to where you are, over one of the bridges.
I feel like it's you can't like cross running water on your own. Right?
I'll just tuck you into my waistcoat when you get there, or just cover your eyes.
Bring out my water blindfold, please.
As you make your way over to the gondolas, enormous swans glide through the water here, pulling ornate wooden gondolas draped in flowers. The swans disappear in banks of silver mist as they wend their way down the river, a jetty extending ahead, at the end of which a waiting swan preens its feathers.
Try again?
Okay. A little close to the water for comfort. Okay. And Solstice, can I just use you as a launch point?
Sure, let's practice. I don't know.
I assumed you would use the spell again.
So like I could just put like a
Second.
hand down and you can jump them.
Yeah. And as you throw me, I go up and I try to message.
It's much more likely that he would fall in the water doing that.
Well, if I throw him up, like straight up, I don't know. We're practicing because it's new. Does he fall in the water?
Go ahead and roll an acrobatics check.
Good, it's your roll, not mine.
It's not good that it's my rolls. I don't know how my rolls are. 17.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to get up into the air and cast that spell and land normally. And this time, you get a response. In that same strangely familiar voice. What did you ask in the message?
Are you near and have you seen Percy?
Well, I'd have to know where you are to know if I was near, but I have not seen your fairy friend.
We're near the swans.
Oh, I'm just wrapping up the swans. And as this is said, out of the mist comes a swan with steam on its back.
Is there a way to clip that? I want that forever.
Yeah, you can do it.
But I don't know how. I hope I caught it.
Oh my god.
Somebody write down 1:24:42. That was the timestamp.
As you watch, Kettlestein gets off of the swan at the jetty. It's quite a nice way to see a new vantage point of this carnival.
From the misty lake waters where you can't see anything?
Well, it's only misty when you start and finish. The rest of it's rather clear. At least on the inside.
You
We
didn't
never
see
really-
like your biggest fear, did you?
No.
Oh, that's good.
We don't usually do the swan boats because they monitor them.
Well, when the swans are sentient, that would be a challenge.
Let's remember that time we tipped the gondola.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing.
You see the swan look back over its eye at you.
Was it you?
It turns. It turns to Cade and says simply, "What is joy?"
What?
What?
It asked, what is joy?
I have not known it in some time.
Wow, rude. We spend every day with you.
That is a shame to hear, but if that is your company, I am not surprised.
It is you.
We're doing the best we can. God.
Stick to the mine chefs.
Oh Lord.
No, I was being facetious.
You tried to make beautiful love on the back of a living creature one time.
I'm not there.
I'm
not
just
say
gonna
anything.
turn away and try to message Percy.
Percy, 40 feet up in the air, looking down at the carnival. What do you hear?
Well, that would be if we were at the feasting and we couldn't reach the swans. I don't know. It's your call, but
He's on the dragonfly rides. So he's 40 feet up in the air, and I can't draw at all, but he's basically making a loop of the
Around.
carnival. Yeah.
You hear? We found the Kenku. Where'd you go?
I'm flying. I don't know what I'm over right now because I don't know what's here.
Can you fly to the swans? You can fly. You know that.
Yeah. So I pat the dragonfly and I'm like, okay, thanks, buddy, and then just fly up off of it. And just start flying.
You see, like, the dragonfly takes a moment and, like, dips down as it kind of turns to make sure it didn't drop you. And then, seeing you fly on your own, it just continues winding on its path around the 8 of the carnival.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I'll fly over to the swans. Yeah.
Alright. Your party reunited and kettle steam in front of you.
where are you coming from?
I was the dragonflies.
Oh, family reunion.
I can't fit on those. They won't let me run.
I'm not a bug,
Well, you have dragonfly wings.
but I'm not a bug. Do you? So how? I'm not gonna ask that question.
I'm just saying a centaur is half man, half horse. Human mom, horse dad.
But how would
Fairies
you?
are half butterfly, half fae.
How would a human and a butterfly? We're not gonna go there. I don't want to know.
Well, I mean, the stork brings the baby.
Solstice.
Well, Solstice killed a stork in her youth. That's why we've never been able to have a child.
That is never something I've told you.
I know. I mean, I just kind of inferred.
What?
I'm beginning to doubt if I made a proper choice in...
Just because we are childless doesn't mean that we can't go to this Prismere and kill a bunch of people.
I'm having the same doubts.
Okay. Let's focus. So, we met Ellie Tumblewumble. Do you know her?
Tumblestrum.
Tumblestrouble.
No, Tumblestrum. Tumble and then the strum of the flute. Tumblestrum.
That person.
Eliwick.
E.T. So we know who gave us the mysterious envelopes. No.
Okay, well, they knows about your plan. So they said you're on to something about finding this Feywild.
They incorrectly said that you were on the right track instead of the right swan.
The right track is in your Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are involved somehow.
Well, that's impossible. Maybe the swan knows where the Fey crossing is.
And the swan turns and responds, how do I even know you exist?
Bruh, same.
What?
I think the most easy way to know one exists is if you poop.
I mean, that's as
Out
good
of
a way to
all
tell
of
as
the
anything.
Bodily functions.
I feel like if you didn't go to the bathroom, then you definitely don't exist.
Cody, quick! There's one of the hag's disciples. I see the bunny rabbit mask. They're running.
Please.
Over there.
Please what?
I'm not going to go just run after this obvious distraction, but I will return to my wagon and change my clothes. As these are very conspicuous.
Wonderful. Percy,
So,
we're friends now.
Yes.
Don't mess this up.
Don't mess what up?
so will you guys meet me back at the wagon when you're done?
I don't understand.
Sure.
What
Yes.
are you asking for assistance with?
Oh, Mr. Swan, you're fine.
Federine.
Do you know where the Fey Crossing is?
Thank you. I travel the lakes.
Has anyone ever disappeared while they're on the lake?
I would never let anyone disappear on my back.
I'm not saying you, but I'm just curious if you know of anyone that's disappeared while they're on
In worlds so full of magic, is time an illusion? Is not every one of my passengers one to disappear again?
You in a sexy French depression?
My mood is neutral. You have all said some interesting things and some less interesting things.
Okay, I think we're done with this one. Can we go on now?
What did you do to that swan? I saved it.
As you're walking away, it says, come back, those of you that had those interesting ideas about existence. I would like to continue. And it gets some people on its back. It
Existential
continues
swan.
I
down.
bet you that swan doesn't poop.
Okay, so what are the rest of you doing now?
I'm changing into something less conspicuous back at our personal wagon.
Okay.
Staring at the kangaroo.
I think I just lead Kettle's team back to somewhere to sit down, like in the orchard, the food area.
It might be smarter to go to the staff area because there would be less crowds.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about the carnival around like staffers and anyone who might report.
I mean, you could have privacy within your wagon, but
Right,
either or
but
would be fine.
I'm gonna ask the group if we can go back to the orchard.
Okay.
And then maybe take a moment and gather as much info as we can before we get consistently derailed again. Figuratively derailed.
Can I, while we're taking this whatever break that we're doing, can I ritually cast Detect Magic? Pretty sure it's going to be blinding. But, like, I'm wondering if maybe I can sense something, like a rift.
Okay.
Or, like, I don't know if that would get me anything.
Yeah, so casting Detect Magic, it's not blinding, but almost every aspect of the carnival is magical in some sense. Some things glowing much brighter than others. As you pass by the carousel to get to the feasting orchard, the centaur that runs the carousel is one of the brightest things in the area. And then each of the unicorns, to a lesser extent, you can see some transmutation and illusion colors there. The dragonflies are not magical. Just try dragonflies. The swan
Go figure.
seems to be glowing softly, as are all of the lanterns overhead. So it's kind of everything you pass has something going on with it.
Okay.
The magic's illusion. There's some glowing light across the way in the carousel, mostly blocked by the centaur at the lost property wagon. But there's nothing that's glowing so violently that it would make you think that it was out of place.
Okay. Okay, my last Hail Mary on this is, do I remember anything from my childhood when I got lost here?
Go ahead and roll a history check.
History. Nobody has that.
I do.
Int skills. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Hank's the
I'm the
smart
it
character.
boy.
Oh, nice.
That's why he has all the good ideas.
If only.
10.
You know that you were brought into the carnival without a ticket. You remember the feeling of being pulled in different directions and that blast of wind and speed as the shift took over. But a location is just out on the periphery.
As we go to sit down, I'd like to take out my tarot cards and shuffle them and start laying them face down on the table as I'm asking for any sort of hint or signal direction, anything, and trying to find out what the hell to do. Just kind of talking to myself, not anyone in particular.
Okay.
This is where you find out that your tarot was a fraud.
And then once everything's laid out in the way it should be, I'm just gonna put my hands down to my lap and to Kettle Steam say, now, what track were you on earlier to finding the crossing? I didn't know there was one before this evening.
Well, I think Witch and Light know where it is, and I would like to discuss it with them further, but they will not speak with me.
It seems like they probably wouldn't tell you where it was, even if they would speak with you.
That's right. That's going to be out of the question, unfortunately.
I blame them for what is going on.
After what you revealed to us earlier.
Okay, well, regardless of who you're blaming, do you have any, notes or thoughts on maybe where it's at? Why were you at the mirror thing? Why did you think it was there?
I've been going attraction by attraction.
Okay, so what haven't you hit so far?
I kind of figured it wouldn't be here. But I could be wrong. Perhaps there's some sort of sick humor in eating so much custard that you suddenly find yourself on the other side.
Sorry.
I've been interested to get into the staff area and the big top once the shows begin. But at this point, I've really only been to the swans, the dragonflies, the halls of illusion, the mystery mine, and snail racing.
Oh, so you're just starting... God, you've done nothing.
Have you done more?
I mean, we just... Didn't she say something about something up high?
Yeah, she said for us to look up, right, Solstice?
Up top.
Did she say where?
She said up top, so I'm top the big top? Is there a second story to the big top? Is there a way you can get up top on it? I mean, I guess I can fly up there.
Where did you say you had been already? I'm so sorry. We've both been to the mystery mine, correct? And I'm just gonna
Not going there again.
I'm gonna pull one card away and slide it back into the deck.
Snail racing.
Snail racing. And I'm gonna grab another card and slide it back into the deck.
Hall of Illusions.
We've been there as well. I'm gonna leave that one on the table though. I didn't like that one.
Gondola Swan.
Yeah, the swans were in weird taste and mildly distasteful, but okay. I'm gonna pull another card off the deck.
Seemed like maybe you should check in how they're being treated.
I did the dragonfly. I didn't see anything.
Okay.
Well, I didn't finish, but...
I'm gonna take a card from the table.
I think if I had to guess that it's the staff area or the carousel.
Why?
Because I haven't been there.
What if
Well, I can tell you the
you
general
missed it?
feeling of the staff is that that there are rumors about a Feywild, but nobody talks about it openly. So
Well.
I don't know that it would be in the middle of where so many staff could stumble into it.
Seems to me that your staff is smarter than I gave them credit for if they're already expecting it.
I suppose they could be keeping things from us. Things are very mysterious here and quite clandestine.
When is the next show for the Big Top?
It is always at the 4th hour.
And what hour is it now?
The 3rd. We are not far off. I do not trust Thaco,
Who's Thaco?
your clown that follows Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. The
Huh?
bugbear seems nice enough.
Who?
Do I know who that is?
You would have seen Thaco kind of in the same area as Burley, closer in to Witch and Light.
And
Thaco the clown.
that's just a clown is the role.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like him.
The,
He's creepy.
Most people don't.
I can tell you Thaco's the worst.
well,
But he really makes you think. Sorry. Such a bad joke.
I explained what I know about Thaco. I mean, I assume I probably don't like him either.
As you all sit and discuss what is to come, the calliope strikes 4 as this tone changes again, and all of the lights around the carnival fade and raise, signaling the crowd to move to the big top extravaganza.
Well, shall we?
Yes.
Is our wagon anywhere around on the way to the big top? Is there any point that I could have messaged Cody and said, hey, we're going to the show?
Staff area was right behind you.
Yeah, once you get close enough to the big top, you can definitely see that.
Okay. Then, yeah, once we get in range, I'm going to tell Cody that we're watching the big top.
Cody, on the other side, as you have made your way into the staff wagons behind, going through the thick brambles ahead, the wagons are circled and almost everyone is gone except for Burley doing a little bit of gardening in his downtime outside of his own wagon. Though how he keeps them alive from town to town, you may never know.
I don't even think about it. I've seen trees literally get up and walk away. Burley. Having a terrible day.
Why is that?
Well, I just found out that there's hag minions in the carnival that may or may not be looking for me and my beloved.
Who? Where?
May
He
or may not.
like brandishes his spade.
If you
ready.
see anyone, a little girl in a pig mask or a blue woman or a strange frog creature, I would kill them immediately. Don't ask questions.
Understood.
And then also we're supposed to find this Fey crossing, which clearly doesn't exist because there's no Fey crossing in the Witchlight. In order to help our friend and
Does he
escape.
know about it?
Well, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. But if anybody would know, it's Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
Oh, but we couldn't possibly bother them, or they wouldn't talk to just. I mean, we are just pencil pushers. We're not important enough to talk to them.
I would never question them, and I'm sure that whatever they're doing, it's for the best. But I have been having concerns. I've been considering trying to take a listen. They never leave that wagon except for shows.
Like the show that's starting soon. Well, maybe I can talk to. Would you like to come with me and bring your concerns to bear as well? I'm sure if two of us request, they can't ignore us, right?
Maybe you're right.
I have to change into something less conspicuous, though, if there really is hag minions on the loose. Yeah. As you begin to walk towards your tent, there is the sound of a conversation coming from that ornate tent in the circle of all of the other wagons. One that, in this near deserted area away from the noises of the carnival, begins to float across this clearing. As faintly you hear a low, gravelly voice. You need to find a way to calm down. And in response, a high-pitched, shrill voice. I will calm down when that Kenku pest is gone! The deeper voice. She knows nothing. She'll get frustrated soon enough and be on her way.
I'm so sorry.
The lower voice. She knows nothing. She'll get frustrated soon enough and be on her way. I hope you're right. Trust me. And then you see Mr. Witch reach out and shut the shutter.
Oh, I really wish somebody else was here. I'm going to walk right up to the door.
And as you knock on the door, the chimes of the calliope play, summoning all, including the masters of the carnival, to the Big Top Extravaganza. And that is where we'll end tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate y'all sticking with us through this adventure. It's always a fun to get 2 episodes in one night, or I guess on YouTube. This is going to be several weekends and you'll see one a day, and that's okay too. We would love to, of course, as always, thank our patrons. Sparky, Daciva, Daniel, Scott, Rio's mom, Alistair, Sean, Rockelman, and Johnny Mac. Thank you so much for supporting what we're doing here. And please, as always, let us know if there's more that you would like to see. We are going to, for everybody, continue to work on putting out some more of the short videos about Wild Beyond the Witchlight. I think that's all I had to say. I'm trying to remember this another announcement.
I guess just next week we're on Wednesday. I don't know if we need to.
Yes, yeah.
It'll be Candlekeep only, right?
Yes, yeah. Next week will be Candlekeep only on Wednesday, and we'll keep you posted on other schedule changes as we get ready to do our Dread campaign, which I'm super stoked about. So keep an eye out for that. And with that, we will come up with the tagline. Good night, everybody.
Wow, wow, witch.